Hi crafters, this is Raquel with Paints and Glitter. Today I'm coming along to share with you how you can create the Tricycle treat tray and rolled flowers from Tonic Studios. I'm going to hold this way so you can see that this is a two-piece set, and I do believe this is going to be a bundle. I don't have all of the details at this moment, but you will be able to see that when I have the links for you, which will be in the description bar of this video, of course. So here what you see is the foundation pieces, little wheels, and also some tiny little flowers here. There are petals, there is a seat, there is a small front basket that you can create with these four pieces here that will have a little scalloped edge. This little piece here you'll cut 3 times to join the front or the left and right hand side of the actual little tricycle. And then there are these pieces here that will create the actual tray for your flowers. There are portions here. This will actually decorate the little handles, the handlebars for your tricycle there. And if you want to, you can cut them out for little petals as well. Then there's this little portion here. This is the actual beam onto which you'll adhere the little basket, or tray. Super easy to assemble, and then these little layers here are purely decorative, so you use them as you like. And then there are the rolled flowers. So that is a set of 6 dies. As I said before, I do believe this is going to be bundled together. And these, of course, when you cut them, you just get a little strip. So that's going to be part of the tutorial. And here is the result. So I'll give you a quick little sneak peek. The little flowers are falling out because I did not adhere them. But you can fill the entire tray here if you'd like to, or you could add little candies to this. So this is a perfect little piece to place on a table, for instance, for a little party or maybe some tea time and any special occasion, a new baby or anything like that. I think it would be super darling. So without further ado, let's begin the tutorial. To begin, what you're going to want to do is cut out the papers for the left and right hand side of your tricycle. I've used classic card from Tonic Studios in Ballet Pink, and I've also used 300 GSM card that I doubled up. And on the inside of each one of these pieces, you can adhere the thicker layer of card. This is going to give you a nice sturdy base. The very end portion of this has a little tab with a score line, so you want to carefully fold that out. And there are 3 little tabs that you're going to use to join these 2 pieces. I've cut mine out and adhered one toward the bottom edge. They do have a fold line, so be sure to fold those. And one is going to go near the handlebar. So here you're going to see how I'm pressing those little fold lines, because I want to make sure that the folded edge reaches the edge of the handlebar there, facing the front of that little tricycle. And because you need 3 pieces, one of them needs to go near the little seat. And I'm sorry I lost that footage, but I'm going to show you a little close-up here, because it's going to be the same thing. You're going to adhere both of those toward the edge, and then the bottommost one toward the fold line. And then once you have those adhered, you're going to adhere the second portion of that little tricycle so that the left and right hand sides mirror each other. You're then going to have the little seat portion, and it does have a score line there as well. So if you've doubled yours up as I have done mine, just be really nice and careful as you fold that toward the inside of the tricycle. This is going to be where your seat is adhered. So you want to be very careful there. Apply adhesive on both sides, and then take the seat portion that you have cut out, and that is going to adhere, making sure that the edges of the little tricycle portions there meet the edge of the seat as well. So you may have to pull on it a little bit while it's drying, and then hold it taut there, static, until it dries. And if you want to, you can do as I have here. I've cut it out a second time with glitter card, and that's going to adhere right on top just to decorate it. I thought it would look really cute. And then To create the tray portion of this, you will be cutting out 4 pieces that have a scalloped edge. 2 of them are a little bit more rectangular and have 3 tabs. 2 of them have only 1 tab at the bottom. You want to fold and burnish all of the tabs and adhere them onto the rectangle that you can cut using the die included. So these are going to mirror each other. You want to make sure that the 2 square-like tabs are adhered to the bottom, mirroring one another, and then you're going to take the other 2 remaining sides of that tray, and those will mirror each other as well. So of course, if you want to, you can do as I've done here. I've used the same exact dies. I've cut out glitter card, decorated them with the layers included, and what I did was I cut away the tabs so that I could add these as a decorative layer to the outside of that basket. And of course, you could do this toward the inside. I would just adhere these tabs first. So you're now going to have 4 tabs that you will adhere bottom to top on each edge to complete the little basket. The other option, of course, is to adhere just the bottom there, as I've done here. So I've used a piece of glitter card to decorate this. You're going to be able to fill it with candies if you'd like to, if this is going to be a gift. So this, of course, is an optional portion there. But you want to make sure that you take this portion here. It's a little rectangle that has all of these little score lines, and you want to burnish every single one. One of those sides is going to be a tab. You want to adhere that onto the opposite end. It's going to create a long rectangular box, and you're going to want to also adhere all 4 of the little tabs on each side. So just add a very tiny drop of adhesive and fold all 4 of those little tabs one on top of the other. To complete that, it's going to end up looking like a little straw, if you will. So here I'm repeating the same steps on the opposite side. And this is going to be the little support beam onto which you're going to adhere the little tray and then add this to your tricycle. So be sure to adhere that first. Once that's nice and dry, just set it aside for a moment and let's move on to the little wheels. I'm going to show you 3 different ways in which you can create this, but you're first going to start with the longest strip that you can cut out with the die included. Be sure to create one of them with the decorative paper, and that's what you see here, and apply adhesive to the little tabs and adhere them onto a plain wheel that you may have cut out a 300 GSM card as I have, and then make sure to wrap this all the way around that little wheel, but also make sure that the tabs are adhered to the outside of the wheel. So you see what I mean? The little tabs are on the outside of the wheel. And apply your adhesive all the way around. Then at the very end, that paper is going to overlap, and all you need to do is once you've pressed that paper and made sure it's fully adhered, just add one tiny little drop there, and this closes off this one wheel. So once you have that nice and dry, go ahead and add your pretty layer to cover up all of those semicircular tabs. And just be sure to match up the little spokes so that way they don't show through. Now for the smaller portion, take another wheel. This is the same size, so I'm still working with the largest die that creates a wheel. And now add the strip, which is again the largest strip, only this time you don't need the decorative paper, and you want to adhere it to the inside of the wheel. So work your way around and then adhere all of those tabs, and this is going to again overlap. This time it should overlap a little bit more than the previous time because you have adhered that toward the inside of the wheel, not the outside perimeter. So now you want to decorate this once it's dry, just like you did before. Be sure to match up those little spokes. Once those are dry, you're going to feed one of them inside of the other. And this is why you didn't need both of those strips to be decorative. Now, this is optional. I decided that I wanted to cut away a very, very thin sliver of this paper And that's because the white edge was showing a little bit too much for me. That was a personal choice. So I just cut it away a tiny bit and then fed that right back in there, and it was perfect. So it's definitely an option. Now here's a second way that you can do this. You can close off the little strips by adhering them end to end first, then adding the non-decorative wheel right on top. So this is for the smaller one, and it's also for the two small wheels that will go on the tricycle. So you'll be using the smaller wheel and the smaller strip die. Again, just adhering that strip end to end, and then folding all those semicircular tabs and adding the actual little white wheel right on top. So it is a little bit fiddly, but I'm just trying to make sure that those little tabs are all adhered all the way around. Then for the decorative portion, now this is the larger one, again using the smaller wheel and the smaller die strip, you can feed that little wheel inside because you want the tabs to be on the outside of the wheel. Once those tabs are fully adhered there, you can now decorate them with that decorative portion of the wheel. And it should match perfectly. You'll do that again. Now this is the third portion, or I'm sorry, the third option. You can take the smaller strip that's going to feed in, adhere it end to end, and just feed it right into the larger wheel. Add adhesive to every single one of those little semicircular tabs, and then just place the second wheel right on top. I figured that would give you another option in case you didn't want to wait too long. And then here you can flip it over, add your adhesive, and cover that up with that pretty paper. So again, that was just to give you a third option as to how to assemble these little wheels. And just make sure you line them up nicely, add your liquid adhesive all the way around, and then cover that up with that pretty paper. Once those are complete, you can move on to the tricycle again and decorate the little handlebars. What I did was to use the die included and cut out the glitter paper. Now I also added some little streamers that you can add with either twine or string, whatever you like. I did that off camera, but you can definitely layer that more than once. And then the little petals, you can do the same thing. You can actually cut them more than once and then cut away the little decorative portion to add to where the little feet would be placed. And then those adhere, of course, on opposite sides of your little tricycle. You can then add the largest wheel by just adding a little bit of adhesive. I use hot glue because I was using glitter card, but here's the smaller of the wheels. You want to adhere these using that stability bar there that you had created, that little rectangle. And once you've adhered those two wheels to that rectangle, you can adhere the rest of the tricycle. Just aim that toward the center of that bar. And you can use liquid adhesive. I did use hot glue, but it's whatever you're comfortable with. And now another little drop of hot glue here will complete this by adding the tray right on top of that bar. So you can place it a little farther back. It's up to you. Here I noticed that my little wheels needed a little bit of glue because I had not closed them officially. So that's all I did. I just added a little drop of adhesive there. And those are really easy to just place right back in there. And that's going to feed right on top. And again, I'm just lining up the little spokes so that they match perfectly. And you can now fill the little tray as you wish with little candies or flowers. Now, of course, this set comes with the option of another little basket. So you will be cutting two of the larger rectangles with a little scalloped edge. This is a miniature version of that larger tray, and adhere them to the bottom. That little rectangle has 4 tabs that fold. So you want to fold all of those tabs away from you. Add the matching little rectangles on opposite sides, and then you're going to repeat that with the smaller ones. So one will go on one end, adhering to that tiny little tab. And I've used glitter card there with just regular cardstock for the bottom. Then the second tab on the other side. And you have now two larger tabs that will adhere to the side of that little basket. And of course, depending on the style of tricycle that you're creating, you may want to omit this. But if you want to make it super frilly as I will, then you can of course add this to the front. Once that is fully dry, all you need to do is add a little bit of adhesive to add that to the tricycle. What I did was that I had cut it out twice. So I did cover the tabs on the inside of that little tray by adding two more pieces. And it does create a nice little stable basket also. So this will adhere in the front. Just a tiny little drop of adhesive will do, and you can line that up with that front tab. And of course, now you can decorate this to your heart's content with the dies included. You can definitely cut out all of those tiny little flowers, or you can use the rolled flowers. So here I'm sharing with you the different styles of flowers that these dies will create. And then I'm going to walk you through how you can use a quilling tool to assemble these. So they will all assemble in the same fashion, which is that they need to be rolled, hence the name rolled flowers. And don't forget that you can definitely use these as the centers of larger flowers that you may already own. Here, what you need to do is feed that paper into the slit of a quilling tool. So you will need one of these tools to create them. And once you've rolled them all the way around, there's always a little leftover portion at the end. And here's a closer look at that because they are quite small. I'm just adding a tiny little drop of adhesive and then folding that over to cover the bottom of that flower. Once that's dry, you can turn it over and fluff the flowers open. So again, these are quite small, but don't forget that you can adhere them end to end if you'd like to, if you can create a larger flower. This one's a little bit less elaborate, so it doesn't actually have a circular bottom to it. But all you need is a tiny little drop of adhesive, and then you can close that off. Of course, you want to remove any excess adhesive if you're using hot glue as I am. This one looks a little bit more like a rose. So once you've rolled that up, you want to adhere the bottom, as you can see there. Just add your little tiny drop of adhesive. You may want to let it loosen in your hand before you adhere it fully. And then take that same quilling tool, feed the edges of each petal. And then as you see me doing there, you can roll those petals away from you, and it's going to give you the look of a more realistic flower. Here's another one. This one's quite adorable. I really like that Tonic Studios took the time to create these with different petals, because depending on the look that you're going for, you may want one versus another. Some of them are a little bit more playful. This one has the petals that look a little bit more like Christmas lights to me, but they're each unique and equally adorable. So you can see how that one looks once it's all completed. And then the last one has little petals that look a little bit like hearts. So once you roll that, of course, as you see there, it's going to be the same process. Just add your little bit of adhesive to close that off, and then you can fluff that one open. And that's what that one looks like. Super cute. So of course, now you can decorate your little tricycle as you wish, or as I had said before, you can definitely add little candies to the inside of that little tray. I think it would be perfect for a little ladies' tea, or maybe a newborn baby shower, any kind of gift giving that you want to do, because you can personalize these. As you see there, I've added some little bells to the back of that tricycle with a little bow created with twine. that you can very easily do as well. And don't forget that I will have links in the description bar of this video so that you can grab this die set if you would like to. I think it's going to be a set, if I'm not mistaken. So I do hope that you've enjoyed this tutorial. If you're new here, I invite you to subscribe. For those of you who are not new subscribers, I just want to thank you so much for having supported me throughout this year. It's been so much fun to create these videos for you. And as I always say, I do hope that you can be inspired and be blessed. And I thank you so much for watching.